please allow me just to say a couple of words to close these 2 fantastic days that we have had together. And I think I have had so many learnings. And I think it's due to the situation, we started with the first day online and the second in person, hoping that we could be together. But I think we had 2 different experiences, and in some way we gathered the best of 2 worlds, because we could reach out in the first day live a number of external stakeholders that were beyond what we could have imagined. And what we have discussed are some of the key findings of Reflow with external stakeholders, but also some of the key learning that we have had, and we actually see that they resonate with what our stakeholders said in many ways. When we started with governance and what are the issue of organizing collaboration and how the different public actors, but also private actors understand circular economy and how they want to engage in it, and how the barriers of implementing circular economy that we all face as citizens, but as also organizations, can be lifted, and how we can have more agency in this situation. We also focused on business, even though Reflow is not focusing on traditional business. Actually, some of the learning and some of the outcomes that we have can also be relevant for these actors. And it's important to hear the take on circular economy of this kind of actors, and how new economic system beyond the growth paradigm and imperative can be actually implemented. And I think it was a nice discussion to hear that actually we are closer than we could anticipate in that sense. We focus, of course, on policy and how what could be the role of political agents at different levels, from the European Commission to the national to the more local level, and how sometimes vague object that the European Commission poses to us can be translated at a local level. What are the issues and the dynamics that we face in that translation process that can actually lead to some element. We focused also on our key stakeholders, which are citizens, and I'm actually quite proud to say that Reflow took citizens seriously. So in that sense, usually citizens engagement can be a buzzword or a word that, of course, you have to say that because it sounds nice, but we actually started from a bottom-up approach. We have Fab Labs, grassroots organization, at the heart of our project, and this is where also our innovation grows, and this is really interesting. And in that sense, we also close with research, because we have seen also today, I think it was a nice link to this morning's session, we saw that as universities, we should have a role in actually engaging more in innovation action projects that can have an impact on society, that is actually measurable and relevant for different stakeholders. But of course, we face a number of trade-offs here, because on the one hand, of course, as researchers, some of us are interested in this kind of engaged research, action research, but on the other hand, sometimes more traditional disciplines like accounting, unfortunately, are really reluctant to take in some of this research. So in some way, I was glad that in some of our panelists, one of our panelists was the editor of a leading journal in logistics, and she said, well, I'm trying to get more and more papers that are based on action research within our streams. That actually it's something that is getting into our disciplines, but it's something that we also need to work actively towards in order for our research to be really meaningful and for us to be more impactful. But then today, I think we had a great start with the CBS Prorector and also the Green Transformation Officer, and I'm actually glad that these 2 leaders of CBS seem to take an interest in this kind of project and how that actually can impact the university going forward, and how researcher can be actually incentivized to provide this, because I think that this is really the future of these universities. And this is, and based on that, we also, after that, we started to focus more on the tools that Reflow developed together. So we focus on city metabolism, and in that sense, we engage in a dialogue also with other concepts that are living within the current situation. So we talk about smart cities, we talk about different concepts that this morning we addressed. What is the difference? What is the future of this? Are those buzzwords, or how can this be relevant for the future? And then we had a very interesting presentation about the technology that we have been developing within Reflow, and that our consortium actually proposed. So the digital ledger technology that was proposed, and that is an enabler of the implementation of circular economy. We have seen also the methodologies and that were developed now. And then the cities had the opportunity to present the work in Reflow, which was extremely interesting. And for the pilots, I've heard a number of very positive feedback here, and I'm actually glad that they could get the opportunity to actually showcase the amazing work that they did in Reflow, despite COVID, as Jeremy before mentioned, that actually didn't make their life easy, but they managed to continue working. And then the final two sessions, the first one is social impact assessment. That is something also that Reflow presented as an innovation, because we adopted a different methodology than the one that are usually adopted within European project in general. And then we ended up with this final session on what is the legacy of Reflow and how we can continue. And hopefully we will have the opportunity to work again together and to continue our experience and to still develop the circular economy that you're all passionate about, and that is so necessary. But right now, I would simply like to thank you all for being here and for making this event so great. You really have been very relevant and engaging with your questions and with your participation. And I would also like to thank all the moderators, all the panelists that conducted very interesting and engaging panels throughout the 2 days, and it has not been easy because it was quite dense, but the attention never failed throughout that. I would also, of course, like to thank all our wonderful consortium. Thank you so much for collaborating with us. I think our collaboration, we grew on in our collaboration. It was a journey, let me say that. But I think that we should all pat ourselves in the back, because it's a wonderful job that we have been doing all together. And then I would like to say, I have to, in that sense, allow me to thank the Copenhagen Business School for allowing us to sponsoring us with this wonderful venue, allowing us to have the conference here, and also to Inge Askerhav and Anna Hermersen for being here this morning. But I would also like to call Dina on the stage, and Erika and Andrea. Because is Andrea here? Yeah. No, don't run away. You all know. No. Yeah. And Anna. And you all know that without our project administrator, Dina, without Andrea, without Anna, and of course without Erika, not only this conference, but also the Reflow project from our end wouldn't be a possibility. So thank you so much for all the work you have done. It's amazing. And now, I would just like to invite you to a bubble to celebrate with some bubble the end of these 2 days. Thank you again, and the drinks are outside. Thank you.